My name is Dave Moore.
My name's Nicole Moore. Sorry.
My name is Olivia Croteau. Oh wait, Olivia Noel.
With a middle name.
I'm changing it to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your guys' middle name? So it's Olivia
Noel.
David William Moore is my full name.
Nicole Lisa Moore.
That's weird.
Well, we realize we have a unique situation because there's a lot of, between the three of us, there's a lot of different dynamics. You have two sisters, you have a married couple, you have brother and sister-in-law. You do have not just a family, but a very complex three-person family. And so what we imagine that, we hope that people can relate on a bunch of different levels to us. We really want to make quality music with quality lyrics that have to do with loving each other in a very broad sense, you know, not just, oh, this group of people should love this group of people, or, you know, you should love the poor because they need it. But the idea that as humans, that's what we're called to do. That's what really makes the world go around. And so on the topic of love, you have a bunch of different types of love in the three of us. You also have a different way that somebody can relate to a married woman like Nicole, or a single woman like Olivia, a guy like myself. There's just a lot of different ways that you can see those relationships working, and music that proclaims love in every sense.
Yeah. And I think excellence in relationships is another thing that we've talked about. It's cool for us too, because it really makes us think before we do anything in our relationships. Like Olivia and I being more intentional as sisters. Dave and I making sure like we're being intentional about our marriage and the decisions we make. And when we were dating, like even long distance, we always said things like, oh, I wish we could play together. Like it would be so cool if you could play guitar for me, because at the time I was doing my solo project, and we ended up, like I did a tour and went through Nashville, and so we always kind of dreamed about playing together from the time we met really till, you know, now obviously. When we got married was really when we decided we wanted to do our own thing, and I was ready to kind of move on from my solo project and make it us and make it a thing. And like Olivia has always been part of that too, because Olivia and I have sang together for so long. And so we talked to Livy, and like really, she'd always sang when I was doing the solo thing, like sang with me, but she was such a big part of it. Like I wanted her to be a bigger part of the music than she was at the time. So we all three decided that we should just do this together and make it a thing. So that's when we were like, let's go record a single. Let's go, you know, do whatever. So
I don't remember. Did you guys have a band name before?
No.
Okay. So
We
talk about
decided it
that
on the
very
day we
briefly.
recorded the single.
we tried to figure out a name for the band for a long time.
we played around for like, since you guys got married, I think.
Yeah.
We've been trying to figure out, we're Nicole Croteau band, but it's not really like heading that direction anymore.
What
and,
can
like,
we call it?
We wanted it to be more of like a band vibe and not, you know. So actually on the drive up to record our single in the car, Nicole was on her phone looking up like synonyms to words.
Oh yeah.
Nicole and I were
sick.
taking it so seriously, and Dave was like, oh, we should be like...
Yeah, Dave was like, what are you doing?
I really wanted it. I'm driving. We had this long road trip to Minnesota from Nashville, and I'm like, what about the Civic? What about the Taurus?
What about the
What
Honda?
about the...
He
So
was like,
I'm the worst of the
"Ooh,
names. It's
ooh,
not
like
really.
Civic would be cool for a band name. Do you know what that means? And it means the people, or I don't know, something weird like that. And we were like, the Civics. I ended up like thinking about words that mean a lot to me, and things that have always been there and that I've thought about. And a huge one for me is time. And like, time has always been an emphasis in my life, I guess. Like, taking every day really like seriously and making the most of where you are. And time is how history changes, you know, and time is how moments are created. And so I started thinking about that whole, you know, big picture. And I was like, what about the era? Like, I looked it up in the dictionary and what it means, and the era is always like a significant period of time.
Yeah.
And so I told them.
At first we were kind of like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like short and like, but then the more we said it, I think the more we were kind of like, yeah, this is a cool name. We kept trying to like think of other names, and it just kept going back to the era.
And then I think within 3 days we had like our first logo and our first music video and our single within 3 days, all labeled under the era. So it like just happened after we picked a name.
It's pretty crazy.
You know? What I think, which sounds kind of cheesy, but I really believe it, is like this is the era. This is the era where we can be love, and this is the era where we can be that change and make the difference in the world if we can get past the things we don't like about each other and get past the things that, you know, make us feel bad things. Like if we can get past that and just love each other and give our best foot forward and give excellence, then we can make this era be the change era, be the love era. This is when the world felt the most love.
And each time, it was only a week and a half till a teacher's like, Max, come here. And it was like, is your name Guadalupe? You know, I was like, yeah, feel free to call me Max.
So Dave and I dated, and then we realized we came to a point in our relationship where it was like, well, either we break up or you move or I move.